Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking all of my stick cream blushes from worst all the way to my absolute most favorite ones. I have cream stick blushes in front of me from 10 different brands. I would say majority of them I've bought. In fact, the only ones I've gotten in PR are the ones from OIS Beauty and the ones from COLLAB. Everything else I have purchased myself. So for those people who sometimes comment I talk nicely about products because I get them sent to me for free, you are in for a rude awakening. Anyways, I'm super excited. I truly love all of these blushes. It's the reason that they're all still part of my makeup collection. But when it comes to ranking them, someone's gotta be last, right? Anyways, if you are interested in purchasing any of these blushes yourself, I do have links for them down below in the description box of this video. Some of these might be tagged on the screen as well. And so let's go ahead and get started. In the last place, my least favorite stick blush that I still have in my collection is this one right here from Huda Beauty. This is the Huda Beauty stick blush in the shade Perky Peach. This one I purchased, and I purchased not just this shade, but also there was a pink shade that came along with it that I had as well, and I already got rid of that one because it wasn't my shade. But I kept the peachy one because I like peachy blushes sometimes better than the pink counterparts. This is what this Huda blush looks like in the shade Perky Peach. This I believe has been discontinued as part of the Huda rebranding, and even though I can use this one and I don't dislike it, I do find it a bit oily feeling, and I also find that it's not as pigmented as I would want it to be. Also, as I said, I got multiple colors of it. This was my favorite color, and it's not even a color that I like that much. It's a bit too yellowish looking. When ranking these blushes, I'm not necessarily ranking the shades of them. I am mostly ranking them by how much I like the formula, but I'm mentioning the shade in this case because this is my favorite shade from this launch, and it's not even a shade that I find that flattering. So the shades were just not my favorite that came out with this collection in general. It has a bit of a glowy finish to it, but it doesn't like dry down. It always feels a little bit sticky, kind of oily on the skin, and so for that reason I don't like it. Also, it's not very long lasting. I've barely rubbed it while speaking to you for all of half a minute, and it already, you can't even see it. So for all of those reasons, this is my least favorite, and it's discontinued for a reason. At number 9, I have the blushes from OIS Beauty right here, and I got sent these in PR. I got all of the shades sent to me. Now this brand, as you know, focuses heavily on people with darker complexions, which I think is excellent. So I kept probably two of the lightest blushes because these were the ones that worked best for me. I kept the shade Focused, and these are super highly pigmented. OIS Beauty is never playing when it comes to pigmentation in their products, and I kept the shade Curvy right here, which is a beautiful peachy color. Now while these blushes right here are extremely pigmented, they do blend out like an absolute dream. So if you have a light complexion like I do, do not be scared of the pigmentation because you can absolutely make these shades work for you. Now for me personally, my personal taste, I like blushes that are a bit more natural looking. Like I like a glowy cheek, but not this glowy. I like a barely glowy cheek, or a naturally glowy cheek, if you will. This looks very glowy in my opinion, which is one of the reasons that it's more towards the back of the list for me. I will say this has excellent quality, especially compared to its price. And the other reason, the only other negative about it, is that even though it's much less than the Huda one, I do find that because it's so emollient and it is so easy to blend, instead of fully drying down and absorbing into the skin, it keeps some of that emollientness, a little bit of that oily feeling kind of on the surface. And I love to not be able to feel my makeup on my skin. That's my favorite thing. So for that reason, OIS is number 9. I have absolutely had more cream stick blushes than I am ranking today, but obviously the ones that I never liked, I got rid of immediately. These are the ones that I can still work with. At number 8, I have the only other ones that were given to me in PR, and that is the Sticks blushes from ColourPop. Price-wise, this is where it's at right here. Out of all of my cream stick blushes, these are going to be the cheapest. So if you're on a budget and you're looking for a drugstore priced cream stick blush, this is what I recommend because these are extremely affordable, and for the price they have excellent performance. Now compared with some of my more luxurious ones, this is not necessarily my favorite formula. With these I also had a bunch of different colors, but I only kept the two that were my favorite. Mini Me, which is this beautiful baby pink color. Take a look right there. And I like that these are not as pigmented. They're more on the buildable side, so you can always add a bit more and blend it out. When it comes to blushes, I do prefer customization over very heavy pigmentation. And the other shade I have, it just says 22F3, and it's this color right here, which is a bit darker and a bit more on the peachy side. I absolutely love this color. In fact, it looks very similar to what I'm wearing today. I don't really have a lot of negatives about these ColourPop blushes. I like how buildable they are. I love how easily they blend out. I love the colors that I kept. These two have that kind of oily feeling to them that doesn't fully immediately dry down like the OYS ones, which is why they're number 8. But other than that, I really don't have many complaints. For cream blushes, they last quite a while on the skin. They blend beautifully. I really like those ColourPop ones, and as I said, they are extremely affordable. At number 7, one that I purchased from Makeup Forever very recently, and that is these right here, the Makeup Forever Artist Color crayons. Now these come in bronzer shades, they come in blush shades, and they come in highlighter shades, and all of the formulas, in my opinion, are excellent. The color I'm showing you is one that I can use as a bronzer but also as a blush. It's kind of a magical shade, and it's called Wherever Walnut 606 from Makeup Forever. Let me go ahead and swatch it for you right here. Take a look. Here's what it looks like. See, it has that reddish tone to it, but it also has a very bronzy quality to it. I absolutely loved this. It blends like a dream. It has a beautiful natural finish. This one does fully immediately dry down and soak into the skin, or maybe it just never was oily to begin with, because it immediately feels like I have nothing on the back of my hand. It blends beautifully. It applies seamlessly. It has that customization kind of property to it where you can blend it out into nothingness, or you can build it up and keep the color looking a bit more vibrant. Check it out right there. They have so many different shades, and even though it doesn't necessarily have a matte finish to it, it has a very natural finish to it, kind of glowy even, but it doesn't feel greasy. It doesn't have any kind of tackiness to it. And as I was telling you, one of my favorite things when it comes to makeup is not feeling it on the face, so I love this. I feel like from here on everything is a 10 out of 10, okay? The ColourPop ones were like a 9. Everything from here on, even though I'm still missing majority of my ranking, is a 10 out of 10 for me. So starting with this, I absolutely love it. At number 6, I have a very fancy one, and that is the blush from Hourglass Cosmetics, which comes in this triangular kind of case like the OYS ones do as well, which is very beautiful. And my Hourglass one I have in the shade Devoted, which is of course a natural peachy color because I am just basic like that, and those are the types of colors that I love. Now this one has a beautiful pigmentation that is so natural, and it has this kind of blurring property to it that makes it fantastic. Take a look right there at the swatch. You see how it kind of blended itself before I even blended it with my finger? I absolutely love that about it. You can see that it has this blurring property to it that makes the skin look like it's perfected. I really love the very natural looking peachy shade that I chose for myself. I need to use this blush more because I am putting it on the back of my hand right now, and I'm like, damn, I should use it so much more than I do. It's just been out for a while, and you forget your favorite products because new ones come out that you get a bit more excited about. But I love the way this looks on my skin. It does have more of a matte finish, and I do sometimes prefer a bit more glow when it comes to my cheeks, especially because I've stopped using highlighter. But even with a matte finish, I love this formula. It's easy to put on, easy to blend out, easy to build up, and the shade is incredible. At number 5, I have a blush that I feel like a lot of people might have forgotten about, but I loved this blush since the moment it came out, and I continue to love and cherish it, and that is the Anastasia Cream Blush. If you forgot about this one, leave me a sad emoji in the comment section because I know that it's not talked about enough. I feel like nobody talks about this blush. It's still available if you're interested in purchasing it, by the way. The color I have is spectacular. It looks so beautiful. The formula is fantastic, and I just don't know why nobody talks about this blush. Mine is squished in there because I broke it, and I have the shade Peachy Keen. Take a look right here at how this blush swatches. It's a bit of a more vibrant peach shade, and you can see the formula is elegant. It has just a bit more glow than the Hourglass one that I just showed you, but the color is very similar, and it also has that kind of blurring, beautiful property to it. The only reason is in front of the Hourglass one I just showed you is because it's just a bit more glowy for the cheeks. I don't like too much glow, but like a little bit. I have a spot when it comes to the glowy cheeks, and this one from Anastasia kind of hits it, okay? It looks so natural on the cheeks. The color is beautiful, the pigmentation, the blendability. Honestly, everything about this blush is absolute perfection. I cannot believe people aren't raving about this one, even though it's been years since it came out. I love this blush so much. So highly recommend it. I mean, you saw how beautifully it blended on the back of my hand. As I'm going through my blushes, I'm so tempted to start putting them on my face, but I don't want to ruin my makeup by adding too much. I love this blush. The packaging definitely doesn't feel as luxurious as the packaging from the Hourglass blush, for instance, because it is a more cheaper kind of plasticky feel, not weighted at all or anything, but the formula, which is ultimately what matters most to me, is fantastic. So let's move on to my top 4 cream blush sticks, and at number 4 I have the Pat McGrath cream blush sticks right here. These kind of cheap plasticky feeling, but they're also not super expensive, at least not in terms of Pat McGrath, you know. It's still high-end makeup, but it doesn't feel luxurious, and the price isn't luxurious either. It's just a high-end price. I feel like you get what you pay for with this one. I find these to be absolutely beautiful, and I have 2 different shades that I have kept. I have Paradise Peony, which is this beautiful peachy color here, and I also have the shade Divine Rose, which is a beautiful rose tone. Now, as you can see, even by me just showing you the formulation of these blushes, they have a beautiful glow to them that looks very natural, because it's not like they have shimmer in their formulas or anything. It's just a glowy glow. That makes no sense, right? It's just a hydrated look. That's what they have, a hydrated look. Take a look at the swatches right there before I kind of work them into my skin. They have a beautiful glowy finish to them that looks so natural and so hydrated to the skin, but there's not shimmer on this formula at all whatsoever, and they don't feel oily or tacky to the touch either. It's more like a serum feeling to me. Kind of sinks in, but you kind of feel it just a tiny bit wet, but not too much, not in a sticky sort of way, not in an oily sort of way, just in a hydrated sort of way. It's a little different from the ones I've complained about previously. It feels like a serum blush type formula on the face. Now, these ones have a bit more of a sheer pigmentation to them. They're not as pigmented as some of the other ones I've spoken to you about. However, you can very easily build them up, and even though they look very natural, they're pretty long lasting in my opinion, or at least on my dry skin. So I really like these. They make my cheeks look glowy and hydrated in the best way, and I feel like the colors I have are pretty flattering as well. We got to my top 3, and not intentionally at all, because as I said, what matters to me most is absolutely the formula, but my top 3 are pretty luxurious. At number 3, I have one of the newest blushes I have in my collection, and that is this beauty right here, the Dior Backstage Rosy Glow Stick, and I have mine in the shade Rosewood. I love the packaging of these blushes, but also I find that the formula is incredible. So let me go ahead and swatch this one for you. I only purchased the shade Rosewood because it's the one that I thought I would like better. Here's the swatch of the Dior blush, and it has a beautiful glowy finish to it. As you can see, the pigmentation is a little bit higher in comparison to the Pat McGrath we just tried. It just is a bit kind of a stiffer formula. Not stiff because it blends out very easily, but in comparison to how serum-like the Pat McGrath is, this one kind of stays on the skin a little more. I really love the glowiness of this one, and this also, even though it's pretty glowy, it doesn't have any shimmering particles in there either. This one is more like a balmy sort of gloss, and it feels more balmy than it does oily or sticky or serum-like. If I had to describe this formula somehow, it would be like you're wearing a balm on your cheeks, which I feel a little bit, but I don't mind because it just feels kind of hydrating on the skin. It doesn't necessarily feel sticky or oily or anything like that. So that right there was Rosewood from Dior, and I really love this formula. At number 2, an oldie but a goodie, one that definitely has stood the test of time, one that is kind of expensive and very luxurious, and one that I honestly have not reached for in a very long time, but when it comes to beautiful formulas, this is definitely up there. The only reason I don't reach for this one more is because I am not a huge fan of the color I own of it. I think I need to see if they have colors that I like better. I purchased this myself, okay? Nobody sent me this shade. I did it to myself. I ordered a blush shade that I should have known I wasn't going to reach for that much. I'm talking about the Westman Atelier stick blushes. I've had this for at least 3 years now, probably even more. I remember this from way before I moved to this house, which is going to be 3 years soon. And the shade I have of this blush is the shade Petal, which is a beautiful shade. I don't mind it. I like it okay, but I prefer peachy blushes to blushes that lean a bit more pinky fuchsia-y, and that's what this one does. Here is the swatch of it. You can see it has a beautiful natural finish. It blends like an absolute dream. It has the perfect amount of pigmentation for it to be noticeable, but also blend out very easily and also look very, very natural on the skin. This is perfection in a blush formula right here. Again, I should be reaching for it every day. Honestly, it's such a good formula. The only reason I don't is that this is just not my favorite blush color. It's not the most flattering on my skin tone. I'm definitely going to look into the different shades of this blush after I'm done with this video now, and maybe purchase a blush that I would like more from this brand, because the formula is 100 out of 10. It is just such a beautiful formula. Perfection, as I said. It feels like nothing. It looks extremely natural. The pigmentation is the exact right amount. It blends like butter. It's just such a good blush. Westman Atelier knows what they're doing when it comes to makeup. It's honestly a brand that often surprises me because I don't really think of it that often, but when I try their beautiful formula, I'm often impressed. And so yes, the shade Petal from Westman Atelier is in my second spot. And that leaves us to what currently is my #1 most favorite cream stick blush formula, and that is this, which is also kind of new, from Charlotte Tilbury right here. The way I'm obsessed with this formula is no joke. This is what I've been wearing the entire video. I have no highlighter on my face at all whatsoever. It's the Peachy blush from Charlotte Tilbury, what I have on, and I just love how it makes my cheeks look. It's glowy and it's youthful looking, and it just has this perfect amount of glow to it that does not enhance texture at all. It just looks so natural. It feels like you're wearing nothing, and it is extremely, extremely long lasting. I have what I consider are the best 2 shades from this release, at least if you have a complexion similar to mine. In color, the shade Rosy Glow. These are pretty pigmented, by the way, but they blend so seamlessly that it's absolutely fine. And then my favorite shade, which is the shade Peachy Glow right here, which is what I've been wearing this entire video. A little bit goes a very long way with this. I have on my cheek less than I just swatched on the back of my hand. As I was saying, they blend beautifully. They're pigmented, but not in a scary sort of way, because you can so easily blend these down. I love the Peachy blush. Now, one thing I should mention about these, even though you can really not see it, you can't really see it when it's on. I can't really see it once I blend it out on the back of my hand, but I feel like the glow of these is not just from like a serum-y or balmy type of formula. I do feel like they're not visible. I promise you, you cannot see them, but I think they might have like mica powder in there somewhere maybe, because I feel like the glow of them is not just like a wet glow. I feel like it's maybe something that actually shines on the face, but it's honestly not necessarily super visible to the eye. I see like super micro mini specks in there, but you have to take my word for it. They do not show on your skin. They just give you the glow that you're looking for. If you, like me, like glowy blushes, you cannot see them, and they are not texture enhancing at all. So let me just re-emphasize why these are my #1 cream stick formula at the moment. Pigmented, blends out like a dream, glowy cheek look to the face, not texture enhancing, and it has a quality that not all cream blushes have, and that is the fact that it is a very long-lasting product on the skin. Lastly, it feels like you're wearing nothing. It fully dries down to what would be like a natural finish, but because it has the mini micro glowy particles in there, it looks glowy on the cheeks. And so I absolutely love it. So this is the winner right here. As I said, I have all of these blushes listed and linked down below in the description box for you. Whenever you shop using my links or my tagged products, I get a little kickback. So if you use my links to shop or click on my tagged products, I am of course forever grateful. I love you all so much. I hope that you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe before you leave. I was thinking, as I was pulling these blushes out of my blush drawer, maybe I should do a liquid blush version of this video. I think that would be fun, and I think I have a lot more liquid blushes than I have cream blush sticks. I love you all so much. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye!